Good evening and welcome to Best Shot Detroit, the sales pitch competition. This is another event by D-NewTech. We're pleased to have the Mid-Michigan Innovation Center join us this evening.
Thank you, sir.
We're expecting a good house tonight, somewhere between 80 and 100 people, so we're really excited. So please go ahead and take your seats. We'll give you a little bit of background, then we'll get started. For those of you that are not familiar with the D-NewTech format, we'll have one keynote speaker, then we'll have our 10 participants tonight. Ken will talk about having 20 minutes, 10 minutes for Q&A. We'll bring the other judges up, then we'll go into the competition. Each company will have 4 minutes to cover one slide, and then each of the 3 judges will ask them one question apiece. And then we'll go to our judging, and then we'll be at the end. So to begin with, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors this evening. In alphabetical order, they are sponsors either of D-NewTech, the Mid-Michigan Innovation Center, or this evening's sales pitch event, Ann Arbor Spark, Atomic Object, the Bizdom family of companies, Blue Water Angels, Dow Chemical Company, Great Lakes Entrepreneurs Quest, Grand Circus, sponsor that just signed on like yesterday. Really excited. The Michigan Economic Development Corporation, or MEDC, SBTDC, Midland Tomorrow, Mid-Michigan Innovation Center, who's also a sponsor of D-NewTech. We're kind of incestuous here, we love it. Northwood University, OU Incubator, Quicken Loans, Rocket Hub, Star Garden of Grand Rapids, Tech Town Detroit, Traverse City Chamber of Commerce, and Ryan Law. And of course, we want to thank our host for this great building tonight, and it's a great format. That's a great format. So with that, I'd like to bring up Ken Kuski, who is our keynote speaker for this evening. Ken was the Entrepreneur of the Year by Ernst & Young way back in 1995. He's been the Dow Entrepreneur in Residence at Saginaw Valley State University. He was president of the Saginaw Public Schools Foundation 2010-2011. Founder of a couple of companies. He's been on too many boards to even list here right now. He's currently CEO of IP3 Inc., an Arbor securities firm. He is currently CEO of both Mid-Michigan Innovation Center and president of the Blue Water Angels Investment Network. Ken's going to talk for, again, about 20 minutes about how to take a company to market. So with that, Ken, why don't you come on up? I'll switch presentation slides with you.
Well, thanks, Doug. Always overstating what I'm up to here. So, all the way out the room, or feel like sorry. Yeah, I don't stand still very well, so I'll do the best I can. Really, it's pretty exciting to be here, but I want to give you a sense of why we're here. Blue Water Angels, the Mid-Michigan Innovation Center, the work we've done with Tom, D-NewTech, Bizdom has always focused on access to capital, growing your business through investor financing. And we realize that that's becoming a disease in Mid-Michigan, and probably a disease nationally, that we're forgetting about the really fundamental mission here, which is to go to market and to get cash flow from customers. So, simple idea, I'm going to drill on it a little more perspective, but you're not a mature real business until you're living off of cash flow from customers. You can think of yourself as living on campus with mom and dad paying the bills as long as it's investor money. And investor money has to be repaid. Cash flow from customers is money you've earned and it's yours. And that profoundly changes everything you think about when we talk about why this is so important. So that's really what I want to drill on tonight. I'll put it in a little bit of context though. I started a company that we took public in 1995. So we started it in 89, 90. Within 5 years, we had an IPO. We thought we'd done everything right. We had our own company that was public. And then the dot-com bubble starts to expand. and everyone wants to acquire us. We were the largest Linux revenue company in the country because we were doing a lot of training around Linux, not stuff, Linux was free open source software. And so people wanted to buy our company. And we finally couldn't stop that pressure. And the company was acquired for cash at the height of the bubble, so we did fine. My board fought with me about doing it. 2 years later, they all said we were brilliant, weren't we? But whenever you come into a big bump of cash, whether it's investor money or even your own successes, you do dumb things. And we spent a fortune flying a group of development engineers around the country looking at all the crash.com companies. And we said, we can buy these for pennies on the dollar. We had several large venture funds that said, we just want a little equity. We'll take a little stake in your company. You can have this rubbish. And we looked at, I looked at an education company in Chicago that had spent over $50 million already. I said, they've got to have some code. They've got to have something of some sense. And we looked and looked and looked, and they didn't have anything. And we go, I was out in the Bay Area week after week, and we meet with these companies, and they have elaborate boardrooms. You're wondering, how are they financing all this stuff? And it's all done with venture money. And they come in suits for us. But for customers, they never dress up, and they come in with their slide deck, and here are all the people who invested in us. And we get through that, and I say, well, what about your customers? Oh, go get Charlie. He's our sales guy. Wasn't even on the executive team. That horror still lingers with me, and I think it's really a message that you really want to take home, which is a real company has cash flow for customers. So IP3 launched a program we call CFFC, Cash Flow from Customers. And we did a lot of work with early stage tech companies for about 10 years in the security space in how to go to market and to transition from investor dependency. So I like to liken this to an opium addiction. Opium is really what all of these startups are suffering from. They're living off of other people's money. OPM. Wall Street lives off of opium too, and it's a mix of other people's money. And anyway, we won't go into that one. So living off of other people's money is a problem for startups. Living off of cash flow from customers, it's your money. You've earned it, you're entitled to it, you can do what you want. And it's going to be really fundamental. And so what we wanted to do was change the game. We've got these business plan competitions all over the state. And we've gone to big law firms, we've gone to Wisdom, we've gone to TechTown, we've gone to the players in the community, MEDC, and said, help us change some of this culture. Why aren't we recognizing and rewarding people that are bootstrapping their business and going to market? That's what we should really recognize and celebrate and reward them. And so we've got large law firms in this state putting tens of thousands of dollars of money that they'll provide as prizes and recognition of the work you're doing. So let's try to get the support infrastructure based on your success in going to market, not just in going to capital markets, not just in seeking investment. But that's really our intention. I just want to tell you a little bit, a 2-minute pitch about the Mid-Michigan Innovation Center. We, like most of the innovation centers, accelerators, incubators in the state, are measured on critical outcomes. And we measure our success on the ability to help raise capital. And after shaming you on that, I shouldn't leave that at all. But on your revenues grown by our client companies and jobs created. So our success is measured by your success in those 3 dimensions, and really exclusively in those 3 dimensions. And so if we think about each of those as pillars, then we've been organizing programs around that. We've tried to build a better network in the state to communicate programs, and we call that the Regional Business Incubator Network. Most of us are participating and sharing, and so best practices, whether they're out of Spark or out of Wisdom, they're sharing openly with other incubators and accelerators around the state. And I hope that this go-to-market campaign will be part of that program. So I'll skip some of that, but I do have to plug a couple of issues. I would plead with each of you that to the extent that you still think you may want investor capital, get informed on the new SEC rules on solicitation by accredited investors. The Jobs Act, Title II, is meant to allow angels to more openly raise money, and not angels, excuse me, your companies more easily raise capital. This was jumpstart our business startups. That's what Jobs Act is about. The SEC promulgated new rules that destroy those opportunities, that impose devastating costs and overhead on startups. We're in a proposed rulemaking for the final step of this. But the key elements that the SEC did said, okay, Congress, bilaterally, we have broad-based support for this legislation. Congress says you can solicit. As long as you take money from accredited investors, you can advertise in the Detroit Free Press and say, I've got an exciting new technology I'm bringing to Detroit, and if you're an accredited investor, I'd like you to take a look at the business. That's what the law said you could do. The SEC got hold of that and said, okay, let's be real specific. If you solicit in any way, and so now they're clamping down on soliciting. If you come to a pitch night or go to Accelerate Michigan, you're probably pitching, and that means 15 days prior to your presentation, you need to do a Form D filing with the SEC. You better have legal counsel to do the new proposed Form D. Or else you need to call your legislators today and try to get some action taken on this. So solicitation has become very inclusive. Most of the activities that our startups do daily is now being constituted or construed as solicitation. So now you fall in the new rules. And the new rules have something we call Rule 506C, which says if you take accredited investor money, you have to have proof, or your company is liable, that they're really accredited. Today, if you participate in Blue Water Angels, you sign a document that attests to your being an accredited investor. That's it. If you lie, it's your risk. Under the new law, you as the target invested company have to make sure that all of your investors are accredited. That means you have to get their W-2 forms, their bank statements. You think they're going to give you their tax returns? And ask you to be the custodian of those financial records, and also by being the custodian of those financial records, you're now subject to Federal Trade Commission safeguards for financial data. So you better hire an IT staff, director of security. This is really, really frightening what's happened. So rigorous, outrageous reporting is being required, or proposed, and the reporting would be required. So I just want to say that's not what we're talking about tonight. But this happened in the last 2 weeks. We have 2 months for hearings on these new the reporting rules, the Form D. But this is really, really, really important for all of us. But let's get back to why we're here tonight. We want to try to reset a culture. We really want you to change the way you're thinking. We do a sales training, and we ask, or a go-to-market training, but we ask when you talk and introduce yourself, you begin by saying, I'm Ken, and I'm a salesman. I'm Joe, and I'm a salesman. Getting people to even, we're ashamed of it. Our top business schools in the country teach a business curriculum without an offering in sales. We do marketing. That's analytical. We don't do sales. That's hype. That's manipulative. That's dishonest. It's something beneath us. How can Wharton, Harvard, MIT, Stanford, our University of Michigan, our top programs, where's the sales department in the business school? Go look at the how many of you have MBAs? Did anything get good sales training? We don't teach that. So, but more important, I want to also talk, and I want to keep this pretty short, but even if you want money from investors, I want to remind you that the best way, the most compelling message you can provide an investor is that you've got customers. Investors have a choice of what asset class they deploy their money in, what they invest in, and what they're looking at is a return relative to risk. And so we try to coach our client companies on de-risking the opportunity. And what kinds of risks do I have? There's usually 4 risks. Technology, does it really work? 2, is there a marketplace for that technology? Does somebody really want what you build? 3, do you have the management team that can execute that whole plan? And really the 4th is financial risk, which is do you have the capital to take it to market? Or we're going to get you halfway started and you go broke. So 4 fundamental risks. 3 of those, or all 4, you could say would be cured by cash flow from customers. 1, I know the technology works or nobody's going to pay for it. This isn't like mortgages where you can sell the product and run away from it. You know? So we don't have to, we have, you know, what we used to call counterparty surveillance. There's a customer on the other side of the equation that cares. If you have a sale, I'm going to trust that your product is more likely to really work. Two, you demonstrate there's a market for it. Not only is there somebody that bought it, but if more than 1 or 2 or 3 people buy it, now you're demonstrating that a market exists. Third, you're showing me that you got a management team that can really do it. And in today's environment, showing that you can produce customer sales is the ultimate merit badge for a manager. And you'll hear that. You can talk to any of the members we have from the investment community or any of the incubator accelerators. If you can show me real sales, that's the ultimate merit badge. And fourth, you're beginning to create an independent stream of cash flow, so the financing risk is diminished. So the best way to de-risk your investment opportunity today is to go to market, bring us some sales. We're going to spend some time talking about that, and we certainly aren't going to have time to really dwell on the details. But this is sort of the classic paradigm. I get some investment money, so I don't want you to think that this issue is independent. This is an issue that exists in every single portfolio company. Well, I guess we have one that's an exception. But all but one of the companies that Blue Water has invested in, we would say has a sales deficiency today. The most frequently missed value numbers are in their estimates of the cost of customer acquisition and the cost of selling. So you've got to go out and find this out. So we normally find actual revenues drag behind projected. And when you look and dissect the income statements and say what costs were out of line, where did they miss target, it's the cost of customer acquisition, the cost of going to market. I've got a great product and people are going to come in and buy it because it's a great product. I was on the advisory board of 3Com, the company that took the first commercial Ethernet implementation to market. Bob Metcalf, an MIT PhD, was the inventor of the Ethernet product, and he was on the board, and an executive in 3Com. And he would come into these quarterly meetings. We all wore our IBM suits, ties and wingtips and white shirts. He came in a cardigan sweater, and he always said, if you engineered a product right, you don't need sales and marketing. And too many people still believe this to this day. I saw him down at South by Southwest. He's working in UT now and doing some teaching and coaching down there. And he denies that ever happened. But it did happen, and so we'll still fight that fight. But success really means cash flow from customers. And that's what tonight's all about. We want to hear from you. Who do you think your target customer is? What do they sound like, look like, think like? So who's the target, and how are you going to get there? What's the message? There's lots of issues about channels, about distributors, but there's also lots of opportunities to go direct through Amazon. We worked with a company out of Oakland's incubator that did $85,000 before Christmas with a single channel. He took his product to Amazon. And so he has this little startup out of his own, and those weren't opportunities 10 years ago. 10 years ago in an entrepreneurship curriculum, the first thing we tried to teach was what's the difference between a business and a product. You got a great invention, but it's not a business. Today you can take a single product to market and make a business out of it. The internet allows that, technology allows that. So I think if we can stay focused on this idea of how do I get to market, the faster to market, the better off I am. That's really sort of the cultural change we're trying to inspire here. And instead of my doing any more talking about that, we're going to hear some really, really exciting pitches. So that's our, I want to get to my closing slide here, then we'll do some Q&A. You see how much I was going to squeeze into 30? And so now you know what you're up against to go in and do your short pitches. I have 45 minutes and 20, so let me just close there. We're going to have some really, really exciting pitches. I've got about 3 to 5 minutes for any quick questions. If you're thinking about your presentation, you probably don't want to get, yeah.
So I'm Derek Turner. I work with Grand Circus. We're a training institute right across the way. So one of the issues with a lot of maybe venture capital funding for a startup is a temptation to maybe hire outside consultants to be doing various different things. When it comes to trying to get customers on your own and raise your own funds, basically through customers, what sort of training would you suggest for getting those skills without having to hire outside consultants and be able to get rid of that kind of cost?
What kind of training do you have if you want to go to market? I think this idea is not unique to what we're talking about. And so I think if you look at the lean startup, if you look at the minimum viable product concept, my problem with that is it's all about changing your message on the web is real different than changing your message live one-on-one with an executive at GM or something. So I think there's a lot of coaching available in the state. I think we've got a tremendous talent bank. But I think you also have to be courageous with your own ideas. Because the world is so different today. Manufacturers' reps have become irrelevant. They're out there, but very rarely do they not. How do you use the web in every business to sell and market is important. So it's a great question. I don't have a great answer for it. Look at the universities, talk to them, say, how can you not be teaching go-to-market? Go-to-market isn't marketing. It's beyond that. It's what do I do with that marketing material? So, great question. I'm sorry I can't give you better than that. Yeah.
How do you look at government-funded research as a revenue stream?
How do you look at government-funded research as a revenue stream? The selling in STTR or SBIR is no different. Filling out those RFPs is no different. So I think that's all going to market and selling. As an investor, we worry about companies never learning to talk to real customers.
No, I'm talking about research that you're getting grants for true research, not it's actual.
Yeah, I think if it's a real customer and it's competitive and there's a market there.
Yeah, it's real work.
Yeah, so we have an institution in Midland that does just that.
Okay.
That goes out and sells contract.
Biotech.
Yeah, and contract research. And they're interested in how do they, in fact, we're working with them on how do you use social media to sell PhD level contract chemistry work. They're serious about it, but LinkedIn and there are. It's not Facebook stuff. But other questions? Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to applaud. Yeah.
Is sales at a loss better than no sales at all?
Absolutely, sales at a loss better than no sales at all. You learn from customer interaction. And so even if you might say that I expect to come into the market at $85, but my production cost in pilot runs is $95. So I know I'm at a loss. Or my cost of customer acquisition. I had a chart I didn't show you, but we expect your cost of customer acquisition to decline with success, with more reference accounts. The hardest sale is your first sale. Well, who's your reference account? You. You're about to be. So I think those you want to be able to set up and understand. Set up beta accounts. Talk to people and say, we'd love to have you as a real client, but we don't have a real product yet, and we'd like you to help guide us to market. And know the customers you can afford to acquire. I knew this senior vice president at Morgan Stanley, and every company we work with in computer security wanted to get into Wall Street. And they said, if I could get into Morgan Stanley, I'm a winner. Morgan Stanley had about 200 security analysts in IT, and I'm bringing in 5-person companies. So I finally went to dinner with the senior VP, and he said, "You guys have to sell us into this. We buy what we want. I got 200 guys, you got 5. I can better spec, design, understand what is needed here than your outside piecemeal startup." So know who you can sell. Don't undertake a relationship that you're not going to be able to fulfill. But yes, sales at a loss is realistic, and one would expect it. And I think investors, as they see you're tracking your cost of customer acquisitions, you showed a slide in your deck, cost of customer acquisition 6 months ago, 3 months ago, today, projected. They get chills, they get goosebumps. It's like, where did this come from? Wow. And anyway, I just want to praise the courage of you guys coming out tonight. This is a really great community. It's exciting to be in Detroit. It's exciting to be in this Michigan community because we really are doing things different and it's going to make a difference. So look forward to a fun evening. Thank you.
Come on up, please.
I'm Brian Bono. I'm here to speak about method, which
Speak into the microphone.
my name is Brian Bono. I'm here to speak about method. Start with this, the image I selected for this idea. I'm sure you're familiar with the angry baby meme. Chose that image that kind of like summarized the feelings I was having as, you know, someone that was pursuing ideas that didn't come to fruition, and then, you know, looking online and seeing exactly what I had come up with being executed by other people, and, you know, getting millions of dollars for those ideas. So, you know, just basically that anger that you feel when you see someone else do that. So it's like that image, I felt that kind of encapsulated all those feelings and let it be just the main statement. Method, not madness. Method helps you turn your thoughts, ideas, and goals into completed projects. So this idea is all about basically making ideas happen. And as a creative, it was something I kept seeing. Like I said, it come up in my life time and time again where I have a great idea, I think about it, but never really got down to actually executing it. And so I realized I needed a tool to help me kind of get over that hump. And for me, a lot of it was like breaking focus and, not quickly capturing things that kind of go in the back of your head. Later on, you forget about it, and just not really understanding how you're spending your time. So I thought a tool like Method would help to kind of give people a method to actually execute ideas. Assembled a team of people that are all from creative agencies, myself, art director, a developer, a process operations person, and a UX developer to get all the different factors that, that are involved in creating an idea. So, pretty comprehensive solution. We're planning on launching on the iOS and the desktop. Right now, we're very early in the development phase, so we're doing just research and design explorations. And then once we launch on iOS, the next step will be Android if we see any traction on the idea. And then the hope is eventually to move into like an enterprise solution, just because with working in agencies, you can just see, basically the results of not being effective at executing ideas, quickly and staying focused on them. So, like I said, I assembled that team with all those core capabilities to kind of help address all the perspectives on it. And so that's where I'm hopefully get some people here to sign up tonight on our website we put up here, basically asking people to sign up for beta/research on this, and then, help us launch this project, basically. Get it to actually, like I said, starting on iOS, moving to Android, and then hopefully the enterprise market. The strongest points on it, I would say, like quickly capturing ideas. I just know I can, brainstorm and that kind of stuff to be able to, shoot a picture of something or take a quick note and then have that safely stored away so you don't have to, constantly keep thinking about it. And then, again, now that you have this list, focusing on what ideas have the best potential of coming to fruition. And then at the end of all of it, it would generate a report much like mint.com does. That kind of shows you where you're breaking down as far as, time spent, all that kind of stuff. So that is where we're at with Method right now, and here's what you guys thought.
Okay. In terms of dollars and cents, I realize that I'm an ideal customer for this. I'm using voice recorder right now to capture my ideas. But from a dollars and cents standpoint, who can you justify this to easiest?
The first thing off the top of my head has always been really anybody that has ideas that they want to make happen, but specifically just because we see a lot of potential within Michigan, the enterprise market being the biggest piece of where the money would come from, just because because this thing has all the different capabilities represented, it would be valuable to a large holding company, that kind of thing, for advertising, marketing, any company that basically is aggressively pushing ideas through.
So just to expand on that a little bit, if you could go to see anybody tomorrow morning to sell this product, anybody in Michigan would see you to hear your pitch, who would you see?
It would be, I would go straight to enterprise, basically, but our idea was if you outreach to creatives and get them to adopt it on a smaller level, just like I was saying, iOS or desktop, that you have at least that inertia and acceptance for the larger enterprise market to look at picking it up as a solution basically for teams to kind of help, again, just push ideas through and make them happen. So we saw like if we could get it picked up on blogs, that kind of thing, from a creative person standpoint, that once we had that customer base, that we'd be able to move into enterprise market.
How is it different than what enterprises are buying now to do the same thing?
Like the biggest thing is from a creative's perspective is if all the tools that exist are just very overwhelming. It's like they give you all the data, but it's like every single thing at a glance versus like just right now what I need today. Like that main step that I have to focus on. Basically categorizing your projects as far as importance, and then once you're focused on that project, just staying focused on the next task is going to get you finished, basically. So a lot of it's about, filtering out, being able to turn off and limit Facebook popping up and Twitter, that kind of stuff, email, turning it off, so you can focus on, developing an idea for certain time points, time spans.
So I feel like you're onto something, but before you go talk to enterprise, clarify the message and how it's different from what I'm using today, because it's still not crystal clear what I'm going to save in terms of time, effort, and energy. I loved your concept about ideas, because everyone in the universe has ideas. Actually converting them into something is a really powerful platform. You have to tell me how I'm going to do that, and I'm still struggling with that piece.
Yeah, I really have to echo that. I didn't get the real pitch. My first real job was with AT&T, and I actually served on one of the idea committees. We had idea boxes. And how does a big enterprise how do you capture ideas? How do you integrate them? How do you judge them? So it sounds like there might be something there, but boy, I left the table hungry. And not the hungry that says I want the next call. The hungry is I don't get it. It needs to have some sort of act, but I don't know. So there are too many unknowns left on the table.
Yeah, that's kind of why we have assembled specifically the person with the human computer interaction background, is just to take. Because basically what we've done is develop this list of needs where, I'm on the creative spectrum, so it's like I'm constantly jotting down problems I'm having, and like you were saying, I do it on a voice recorder, I do it on Post-it notes, I do it in notebooks, I email myself ideas, that everything is just kind of scattered everywhere, just an anxiety that I'm trying to fix, so all the other teammates, I think, the plan is that it's gonna, hold that in.
Just be conscious of our time. I'm supposed to just be asking some simple, short questions, so let me close with one simple question. If you're calling on the enterprise, you said that's where you go, which is a good line of thinking. What would be the title of that person in that, in GM1?
Operations manager, and that's one of the latest people that we put on the team. They're in charge of operations at work, so that's kind of like the angle on that was, get him good with it, and then, we can pitch it to the enterprise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a little bit of a working process, so we're working on getting a microphone over here. Kudos to the presenter for staying on target. We will remind the judges of one question apiece. And that does not mean one with a follow-up and a follow-up and a follow-up. So that's okay. No, I think it's good training. We'll get it where they need to be. No, that's fine. Jason Veal is the next person up. Jason said even though he's just now starting an internet company, he just now got his first smartphone. That's only because his BlackBerry decided to go swimming. And after it fell in the water, he had to replace it. New phone. That's all these things about apps so far. So we kind of saw the light there. Talking about the company, he's probably one of the few tech startups that the first ever sales pitch to a VC, they refused time to sign the term offer sheet and turn down their $1 million investment. So one of the things that Ken didn't talk about is not all money is good money. There is bad money. So Jason's already done it. Jason, come on up, please. Don't start yet. Either here or if you stand right in front, you can do that. You want to take the microphone. Okay, cool. I like to stand. Yeah. Okay. Good evening. My name is Jason Beal and my company is Regango. Regango connects home contractors to homeowners in a way like never before. Right now, home contractors are struggling with the market. They're struggling connecting with homeowners. They're struggling with that because of the options that are laid in front of them. They have lead generation systems like Home Advisor or Red Beacon, but they're basically making contractors compete on price, and contractors absolutely hate competing on price. You have directories like Angie's List or like the Yellow Pages, but you can get lost in the shuffle. You're not trying to find a contractor. There is also the best option for a lot of contractors is a yard sign. Why? Because it actually shows the homeowners in the area that they were there, that they've done work. Problem is that, as we all know, on residential streets, you don't get a whole lot of traction. You don't get to be able to be seen. Not to mention, 90% of the contractor's work is inside, so they actually don't get a chance to show off their work. Regango aims to change this by inventing the virtual yard sign. We've actually developed a technology that allows for contractors to show before and after photos of their work and that work to be geolocated on a map. So now you as a homeowner, when you're looking for a contractor, no more looking in boring directories. You're actually directories. You're actually looking on a map where you're actually able to see the contractor's work. So now it allows for the homeowner to be connected to the contractor in a much better way, and the contractor now to actually be able to get increased marketing exposure because now they're being seen not by up that street, they're actually getting seen within a 5-mile radius of where they've done work. Not to mention we have actual customer reviews. Unlike a Yelp or an Angie's List where pretty much anybody can leave a review about the contractor, only the customer that yard sign represents can leave the review. We also have dynamic reporting, which allows for the contractor to actually have more efficient marketing because our reporting actually shows them what areas are viewing yard signs the most in their particular area. So now a plumber can see, hey, what locations are actually viewing the most plumbing yard signs. Now I can go ahead and market in those areas instead of doing a grassroots campaign of all of Michigan. So our customers are home contractors, plumbers, painters, electricians, you name it, that are making $100,000 plus a year. We're looking to reach these contractors by partnering with national associations like the National Home Builders Association, also the NARI, which is National Association of the Modeling Industry, but other associations as well. We're also doing cold calling, so yes, I have no problem doing sales. We also are actually partnering with companies that provide printing for yard signs as a value add. So now when contractors go to get their yard signs, they can actually get access to Regango and to be able to create the virtual yard signs. We're offering a 90-day free trial for the contractors where they can basically come in and create 10 of these virtual yard signs absolutely free. Not to mention, another thing on a yard sign is our Ask and Recommend feature, which allows for homeowners to ask and recommend through Facebook, which allows a contractor to not only get more exposure through our website, but through Facebook. But we've also have something that's even more dynamic. With our contractors in this free trial, they get access to our widget technology. We've partnered with a lot of local homeowner associations, but also are looking to partner with homeowner associations across the U.S. for our widget technology. The widget will attach to the homeowner association's website. Each time a contractor creates a job through Regango, it actually also populates to the local homeowners association in that area. So if the job's within a 5-mile radius of that homeowner association, it gets publicized on that homeowner's association website. Again, giving the contractor that much more exposure. It also can attach to their own website to give their own website more credibility, because now they can geolocate all the photos that they have already on their website, giving their website that much more relevancy and also that much more attraction to homeowners when they visit it. My name is Jason. My company is Regango, where you can see the quality of local relationships. Thank you.
So, I assume that as a contractor, I'm in your ideal customer sphere. Contractors are your customers. So, how can I gain assurance that there are going to be lots and lots of homeowners out there looking to go to these virtual yard signs online? How do you get to a critical mass, and what is that critical mass?
Very good question. Thank you for asking that question. Obviously, partnering with the homeowner associations actually provides a great way of you not only being able to market locally. We're targeting contractors that are obviously, small mom and pops all the way up to your national brands. But the national brands still want to have a presence locally. So your local homeowners association struggle with keeping up to date information of the contractors that are working in their area. So for the homeowner association, unlike Angie's List, it's absolutely free to the homeowners. So they love the updated content, and they love to be able to find out what contractors are working in their area. So that provides a definite advantage to the contractor to get that critical mass. Not to mention also partnering up with anybody basically that wants to know what's going on in their area from a homeowner standpoint. Case in point, like realtors. Realtors always get calls about, hey, do you know of a guy, do you have an electrician, and so forth. So partnering with realtor associations as well, this now becomes a value add for them to be able to say, hey, you know what, next time you get a call about, hey, I need an electrician or a plumber, you can direct it to Regango. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost the homeowner anything, and now you can stay relevant even when you're not potentially selling that homeowner a home.
Thank you.
I'm going to break the rule, Milton.
All right.
I'm not going to ask two questions, but I am going to say this. To Ken's point earlier, it takes a village to raise an entrepreneur, and I've been watching you for the last couple of years. Every one of us in this room has touched you. You are amazing tonight. So, there we go. We're proud. I have this question. How many customers, contractors do you have currently signed and working on your site?
Well, thank you very much for asking that question. We actually just launched the website 3 weeks ago. Right now, just through cold calling and sales, we've got about 25 contractors on the website. Not very exciting. But what is exciting, of those contractors, 5 of them are from North Carolina. We have not done any marketing in North Carolina. They have actually found us through associations. And even more exciting, today we got a call from the CEO of the National Home Builders Association that has talked to their board and is actually has to meet on Friday about it, but is going to be able to auto-populate our website with their over 4,000 contractors in the Michigan area and potentially over 150,000 nationwide. So we look to be able to be adding contractors very, very soon through our very critical mass level of contractors through our website basically the next 30 days. And then from there, being able to give them that free trial access to it because it's a new technology. And then from there, start producing revenue.
So I'm playing the role of a contractor. All the people listed look like they're good guys. I don't see any of the negative stuff showing up. Why is that? Because all my contractor competitors are putting up their good stuff, but I can tell you 20 lousy jobs they did. Can I go post those and help make the world know about what lousy guys these are?
No.
Why not?
One question.
No. Well, because, and it's actually very, very simple. Every other website out there likes to basically direct you to a contractor to basically say, this is the guy you should use. This is guy's quality. What's very interesting about the word quality is actually I can ask everybody here what they determine a quality contractor is, and I bet you I'll get 1 million different answers. Regango aims to be the platform to allow these contractors to be able to separate themselves. The start is photos. We can easily enough go to videos where contractors can separate themselves through showing videos of their work. So the contractors that are, in a sense, like you said, having bad work will eventually be found out because in addition to the actual customer reviews, The contract is also, there's also, for homeowners, they can see a side review that we're going to aggregate reviews from like a Yelp or from a Yellow Pages, so they will actually be able to see a more composite profile of that contractor. So we find that over time, the kind of the wheat will separate from the chaff in a sense, because for me to tell you that this guy is quality or not quality, you may determine, you may use him and you may say, hey, I like him, I think he was quality. Another contractor may say, you know what, that guy's crap. So every homeowner has their own mindset of what quality is. We don't want to steer you one way or the other. We want to let the homeowners make the decision. Thank you.
I also get to be re-instructed. If you want to speak from in front, you have to stand in front of the backstop here with the light in your eyes. You stand over here, you're in shadow, and the tape can't see you. Also, if you look over here, we'll be announcing 1-minute warnings. So, okay. Just look for the red. You can't read the black up there. Okay, next up is Jeff Plott. Jeff's favorite activities in the summertime: playing 2-on-2 beach volleyball, riding a stand-up jet ski in the North Channel of Lake St. Clair. A little bit about the company. The founders are 2 brothers, 10 years apart in age, with a combined height of just shy of 13 feet. That's definitely a little bit different. So, Jeffrey, come on up, please.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming out, and thank you D-NewTech for giving me the opportunity to pitch today. I'd like to start off with a simple question. How many of you have ever had a reusable bottle that's been difficult to clean? Yeah, most of us, myself included, especially when I put something besides water like Gatorade, a protein shake, or a smoothie. So this problem first became relevant to me when I noticed how it was changing my behavior. So last summer, my brother and I ran a race, and I was debating whether or not to put Gatorade in my bottle, just because I didn't want to have to deal with cleaning it afterward. On a similar vein, my brother, who's a father of 2, just hates cleaning the stagnating milk out of his kids' baby bottles at the end of the day. We've all tried, tons of different methods to clean these things, whether it be getting brushes, or using a sponge, or even trying to force our hand down there to clean it. But with Flipsy bottles, all of those methods are a thing of the past. To the left is a rendering of our newest Flipsy Sport bottle, and in my hand is one of our newest prototypes. How it works similar to any other sport bottle on the market. It's got a flip top cap, so you can easily drink out of it. But then when you're ready to clean, you simply push up on the bottom and flip the entire base inside out. Now, no matter how dirty you get it, you can easily hand wash it. Then when you're done, you can flip it back, re-lock it into the bottom cap, and you're good to go. No brushes or frustration required. So beyond the easy cleaning, some other features is that you have superior flow control. What I mean by this is, since there's the cutouts on the side, instead of having to shake the bottle like this to get that last little bit, you can just simply squeeze down on the side. You also have easy access to the bottom, which is definitely a benefit if you have like a protein shake, which oftentimes clumps at the bottom. This bottom cap also acts like a koozie, which will insulate your hand from the hot and cold and also provide some insulative properties to the bottle. All of the materials are 100% food grade, BPA free. The flexible part is made out of silicone, which is the same material used in baby bottle nipples. And the hard parts will be made out of rigid plastic. Microwavable, dishwasher safe, and it also holds 22 ounces of liquid, which is on par with the other sport bottles on the market today. Based on our customer discovery, we found that our ideal customer would be an active male or female between the ages of 20 to 40. And because of their active lifestyles, they'll likely live in places like California, Utah, Colorado, Maine, and other active states. Our go-to-market and distribution plan is a two-pronged approach. It's a two-pronged approach. The first step is launching on Kickstarter. Now, the reason why we want to launch on Kickstarter is because the demographic of users on Kickstarter correlates very nicely with that of our ideal customer. Additionally, we will then launch. After that, we will then use partnering with injection molders that supply plastic and silicone parts. Then we will continue to sell the bottle through e-commerce and then eventually expand out into brick and mortar stores like REI. But then once we have finished successfully launching the sport bottle, we don't plan on stopping there. We then plan on moving into the children's market with a Footsie baby bottle, which we've already designed. Thank you. My name is Jeff Plott. Our website is footsiebottle.com. I invite you all to like us on Facebook and follow our progress.
I think you called us old and lazy. I don't know. But beyond that.
It doesn't mean.
No, I'm teasing. Although I am outside of all of your parameters, I would buy one of those. So careful about how you talk about that. I love your kind of very kind of scaled market strategy. I want you to talk to me in a little bit more detail about Kickstarter and why that's your first point of sale.
We see Kickstarter as, a way to get investment, without taking on or losing equity. Additionally, it's almost like the ultimate in customer development, customer discovery, because I can go out and I've shown this to over 200 people, got their feedback. But once we go on Kickstarter, we get instant exposure to the whole country, and we can use that to further improve in the future as well.
Jeff, I'm sure that if you went door to door, you could sell one to every person you called on. But you're going to go to Amazon, and you're not going to be there. So if you had one introductory line to get people to read more and understand more or watch the video, what's the one line that would sell make you look more into this?
One line to get you to go to the website.
Let's say I'm on Amazon and I'm looking up sports gear. And so I'm in the right category. I'm there. There's 20 other bottles to look at. What's going to get me to look at your bottle?
It's the best bottle on the market.
Okay.
Most features.
Okay. Very good starting point.
Yeah.
My last bottle I got free from Moose Jaws, right? That's a promotional thing.
Mm-hmm.
So how much am I going to pay for this bottle? And why is it worth the difference between free and that?
It's a great question. Based on the many interviews we've done, we found that a typical selling point for a bottle like this would be between $15 to $20 that our customers would be willing to pay, which we can provide definitely at that cost. What was the second? There was another part of the question.
How do you justify that difference?
How do you just well, with those bottles, myself from experience, I've had to get rid of several of my bottles just because they'll eventually build up some mold or some mildew on the inside, and then I don't want to have to worry about whether or not I'm going to get sick, and it's a pain to clean anyways. So this is a very, nominal price, and it's something that you wouldn't have to worry about replacing in the near future. All right, thank you, everyone.
Johnny Thomas learned the importance of networking when he moved to Las Vegas after high school. Not quite sure what networking in Las Vegas had to do with one another, but he learned a lot when he was out there. He also enjoys playing roller hockey. People have told him they've spoken to Justin Bieber using his product. So Johnny, come on up and tell us about that, please.
Hello, thank you for coming here tonight. My name is Johnny Thomas. I am a co-founder of Partyline. Partyline is a mobile app that randomly and anonymously connects people together in a one-on-one voice chat. Since March 2013, you can download Partyline for your iPhone and an iPad device. Most of our thousands of users are ages 14 to 30, located in the USA. However, there are people from all over the world on Partyline. Partyline is great for people who are looking to meet new friends, people who are looking for a date, or people who just looking for someone to talk to. Ken, you just finished your high school homework, and you're sitting on the couch bored, and looking for something to do. You get on Partyline, get randomly matched with this really cool girl. The two are talking, and you really like each other. You want to continue talking to her, but she's not too comfortable yet giving out any personal information. So you can add her on a friend on Partyline, and you can contact her with our friend calling feature. You can buy credits to directly request a Partyline call, and that still remains anonymous for people who you've met on Partyline. So it doesn't use any of your cell phone minutes. Today, you just got in an argument with your girlfriend, and you want some advice from a woman to help you with the situation, or you just want to vent and get something off your chest. So you go on Partyline, you can search by age and gender, so you make sure you get connected to a woman who's mature enough to help you with your situation. And the cool thing about Partyline is that there's always someone on there for you to talk to. Leslie, I just heard you finished nursing school and you're ready to meet a nice guy, settle down, and be married. Well, Partyline is one of your best options for that. With Partyline, you can actually talk to a real person. You get to hear their voice. You get to hear them laugh. You don't have to fill out any lengthy profiles or browse through profiles and pictures like these other outdated dating sites. So with Partyline, you can actually snap a live photo and send it to that person. You can't attach a photo because we want to eliminate fake photos. By the way, Leslie, I was talking to a girl on Partyline last week, and I asked her how you heard about Partyline. She told me that her friend met her fiance on Partyline. So in 5 months, Partyline has already a potential marriage in the works. I'm really proud of that. So I just want to do a quick demo and show you how fast we can connect to somebody. So you load the iPhone app, and you choose if you want to connect to a male, female, or both. We'll choose both. And you choose the age range, ages 18, let's say 49. We're going to click connect. Now it's waiting for a match. Match found. Once a match is found, it takes a few seconds for the connections to start and the voice chat feature to start. Now we can either approve or decline the match. We're going to approve it. And just like that. Hello? Hello? Hey, what's up?
Hey, not much. How's it going?
Good. What's your name?
My name's Joe.
Hey, Joe. I'm just showing my friends this really cool app. How do you like it so far?
I like it. It's really cool.
Cool. Hey, I don't want to cut this short, but I got to finish this up. I got to go. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Any questions? I'm sorry?
He's devastated.
He'll get somebody else. Any questions?
Is that real?
I have a question. First of all, I love the name Partyline for obvious reasons, because I'm old enough to know what that means. How can you guarantee that there's always someone there?
You know what? Once there's a larger user base, there's people going to be from different time zones, people from China, France, Europe, all over the world. So there may be times where there may be more men than women on there, but most of the time there's no wait time. So can't guarantee it, but most of the time you can connect to somebody and talk to someone.
You did guarantee it in your pitch.
I can see 100 variants detailing it out as you get better at it, but are those the two categories that matter most, sex and age, or just location? Have you looked at other variables in the filtering?
Absolutely. Definitely when we get a larger user base, the location is built into the database and the service. We've already done that. So we could just, press on the button, we could launch that aspect of it. And there's definitely more forums and different rooms and criteria that you could add, like sports talk or.
And well, Milton's how much does it cost? My second question.
It's a free app. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. It's a good question. It's free to download.
I met somebody on there. I like them a lot from the first conversation. I want to convince these people to go offline and stop paying you. What's going to keep me from doing that?
It's a good question. Well, there are features where you could purchase and buy credits that directly cost somebody. I don't know if saying it's free, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's a success story. If you meet someone and you like them, you're going to go and spread the word about it. So I want that to happen. I think the more people use it, the better. So if you met someone, you like someone, and you can go tell your friends about it. So I think that's good.
John Gagnon is next. He grew up playing hockey in Plymouth, and he came up with the company name by combining words that had to do with gambling and fun. Like most of us, he took those ideas, looked at whatever wasn't already trademarked, and came up with the name of his company, which is Real Big. So John, come on up.
All right. Good stuff from Johnny Thomas there. I have to stand over here. Yeah. A great product that's already out there getting users, so you don't should download it. Anyway, gentle audience, let me tell you, Real Big knows that its customer pretty well, and we have an unfair advantage because I can tell you, I think all three judges are probably our ideal customer. So let me tell you a little bit about them. Well, first of all, Real Big is making real money gambling games in markets where it's legal to do so. Our typical user is not the typical user that would use most things. They are like Dave. They fly private sometimes on their way to Monte Carlo or some other destination. Or they're like Leslie. They like to make it rain in the club sometimes. Or they're like Ken, where Ken loves to gamble, and at the end of the year, when he tallies up his win-loss, it's a rounding error to him. So it's more recreational than anything. The other thing they have in common is they're all 30-something. So they grew up in the era of Mario. They all had a Super Nintendo and Nintendo growing up. And when they play the conventional casino games, they're a little bit bored by slot games that are all the same. They might be Kitty Glitter and Ghostbusters, but deep down it's the same gameplay. You get a little bit bored with that after a while. And, it's always a pain, too, to go to land-based casinos and play. They wish there was more innovative games out there that they could just pull out their iPad or their iPhone and start playing. That's what Real Big is all about. So we are creating all new concepts in gambling. These are games that don't reflect anything you see in a casino. You're going to be able to gamble with real money on games like Dave, Leslie, Ken, and I were all fishermen standing at a pond, and we are all casting our line and trying to hook the biggest fish possible. Every time we cast our line, we're placing a real money bet, and every time we pull out a fish, it's a real money result from our servers in London, and that fish is worth real money. Let's see. And as you can see, it's a big market and growing. There's legislation all across the country, actually, in the U.S. Lawmakers, state by state, are creating legislation to make this legal in the United States. We think it's probably 12 to 18 months out where potentially a federal regulated state will exist in the United States. At that time, we could probably move the market. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we can make these games live in New Jersey by the end of the year. But right now, our target market is the UK, where it's been online, legal, regulated for several years. That market is already, depending on who you talk to, it's already a 30 to 36, maybe $38 billion market. It's a pretty big market. we're hoping to be right there in the right spot for our precious users that we love and respect on an individual basis, because we only need a few of them to be profitable. Right now, if they're in a place where they can't play legally online, they might be playing social casino games where you spend real money to buy fake chips that you cannot cash out. Some people might find that crazy, but it's going on, and that industry is about $6 to $8 billion a year right now. I think it's going to explode as soon as it becomes legal in the United States, because all of you live in the United States. And you are going to love our new concepts in real money gambling. So, 2 questions. Thank you.
Just curious, how am I going to find out about these games?
I'm so glad you asked, Dave. So RealMig has a really good handle on user acquisition. We can acquire on a per player basis what is called a deposited player. So we're not paying on a per click basis or CPM basis or even on an install basis. We're only paying when a user deposits money in their account. It's a high price, but there's a huge margin involved because the lifetime value of a real money gambling player is hovering around $1,800 right now. Leslie, tell me about making it rain in the club.
I'm still stuck on 30-something, and my comment is you lie a lot. I'm still stuck on Tarper's question. So
Right.
how am I going to find out about you? I understand how you convert me and how I blow all of my money being with you. But how am I going to find you?
Well, you could find us organically by typing in Real Big on the UK App Store. That's a possibility. But yeah, other ways, it's straight user acquisition on a paid basis. It's pretty much known. You can buy through NetRefer or Income Access and get a real money gambling user. So,
I'm making a quick assumption that individuals can create their own player teams and game. So 5 of us can play poker.
right. It'd be synchronous multiplayer for sure.
So what's the house take?
We want to stick to fixed odds betting. Like, poker's a cool business, but there is a margin and it's low, and you're relying on rake and volatility.
Fishing. What's the normal take on that?
It would, it'd be more like if you thought of the fishing example as a roulette game, it'd be just like us operating roulette. In fact, when we call out to our servers for a result, it'd be like resolving a roulette bet. So house always wins those. So sorry, Ken. You can still win real money though. Okay, thank you.
Next up, we have Jordan Morsecca. Jordan has been programming and building websites since he was 11 years old. And he said that his first traction for the company came even before they launched their MVP, or minimum viable product, after they were featured on a Macedonian technology website. For those of you that are not from here, Macedonia is just a little bit outside of Detroit, like by Greece, Albania, Yugoslavia. So Dave put out about his website before he even launched the company. So Jordan, come up and tell us how you did all that.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jordan Morsecca, CEO and co-founder of Backstage, where we build unique products for personalizing the web. And so when you look at the growth of knowledge online, 90% of all data in the world was created in the last 2 years. That's 90% of all data. And every minute of every single day, that's adding 48 hours of video uploaded to YouTube and 700,000 Facebook shares. And it's no wonder with this that terms such as infobesity are being used to describe a potential epidemic. And psychologists have even identified a condition that they call information fatigue syndrome, whereby being faced with just too much information, you can actually trigger symptoms such as poor concentration or hostility, or even force someone to completely burn out. Yet, despite all of this, we're being faced with, our content consumption habits have really remained unchanged. Whether it's through a website or an app, we still travel from source to source, gathering information. So, how do we improve upon this broken method? Well, by moving the attention away from the general sources of information and refocusing it around specific topics or ideas, we're able to kind of strip away all the noise and be left with what's really personally relevant. So currently, this form of curation is done by one of two ways. One is the manual process, where you might have seen services where an individual will pin an interest around an idea, and while this yields high-quality information, it's a very long-term manual process, and it's also dependent on the motivation of opinion leaders to kind of keep up that manual labor. And so the other way is a completely automated process where you have these biased algorithms that, based on your habits, will try to predict what you might be interested in and will automatically curate that way. However, these tend to kind of fall apart when you have a change in interests or where you have pop culture events. So you want to follow a breaking news story. That's kind of out of the algorithm's kind of background knowledge on you, so it's not able to adapt that quickly. With Backstitch, we believe in the human-assisted approach, where we take a combination of the manually vetted and the automatic curation. And so with Backstitch, a user simply tells our system of their favorite news, social, or even shopping websites, and then they set up topics using natural phrases such as Detroit Tigers or headphones under $200. And then Backstitch will go about automatically organizing all that content from all those sources and sites that you told it about, and all those topics you set up, and it will automatically organize it around those. So last fall, we launched our first kind of experiment into content curation with our personal dashboard product. It's been recommended by top publications, including Fox Business, who called it the site for all sites. And this fall, we're going to be launching our completely redesigned version 2.0. And something as well as something I'm very excited to talk about today. Another opportunity that we'll have available. So if you're a business owner responsible for building a brand, it's hard to deny the importance of social media marketing. Companies all over the world have seen the influence they can have when they build a community that rallies around their vision. However, unless you're a large corporation, you might not have the time or the resources to continually discover relevant and interesting information to share with your followers. Well, with our promoted topic pages, your company can tap into the power of the Backstitch platform and utilize our automated curation engine. So you can continuously deliver brand relevant content to your growing community of customers. With our analytics service, you can gain insight, and we would adapt as your customers' interests change. They start liking, more kind of sub-genre topics than others. You can quickly adapt the algorithm. And with our promote topic pages, they're not just accessible to our Backstitch normal users, but they are completely search engine discoverable, and can actually use as themselves platforms for distributing content to other existing social networks. Okay.
Jordan, I'm gonna, could you look out that way for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah, I got two questions. Okay. Do you want to first sell to me as a consumer, or do you want to sell to a channel that's going to influence its client base?
Yeah, so we are focused on...
pick one of those for me.
First is general consumers.
Okay. So I'm the general customer. Why is this going to make my life so much easier?
We're allowing you to easily take all that information and curate it on what you're actually interested in. So focus on ideas and topics rather than locations for you're not interested in Facebook or CNN or whatever. You might be interested in this small idea.
So I'm going to ask this third question, which is how often do I have to tend those preferences that I I think are somehow tied to an algorithm, but I'm engaged with the identification of some of the topic areas. How often do I have to touch
Yeah,
that?
so first time setup, you can set up, and if you're liking what it's giving you, you can just let it roll. It can take literally 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You type in what you want, add it to a topic, it'll go and do its thing. But then you have the ability where if there's something that you knew you're interested in, or just like a short-term interest, like those pop culture events I talked about, you can just do it, and within seconds you'll get curated content around it.
I'm satisfied with my search engine today. Tell me something that's going to make me buy this.
So if you look at a search engine like Google or Bing, it kind of goes, when you do a search, it goes up to the greater web, as we like to call it. And there's a lot with SEO gaming, there's search engine marketing, and really it's based on all those undetermined factors that are saying what results you're getting. With our platform, essentially you're saying, I like these sites, I trust, you might trust one political journalist or, slant, a publication versus another one. And so you're saying, okay, only search across these websites.
Something about poker this evening. Over the last decade, if Internet Poker had a professional league, Matt Chapman would have made the All-Star team many, many times. A year ago, he was given the choice. Note his wording. He was given the choice to either, one, continue traveling to countries where Internet Poker was legal, or two, to create his company, Own the Play. So Matt, come up and talk to us a little bit about this. Thanks.
I want to thank Milton for giving me the introduction that I've kind of always dreamed of. So, quick survey, how many people have been in the casino in the last year? Okay, sweet, a lot of my target market is here. How many people have played fantasy sports in the last year? All right, it seems about half as much. And I got both hands up for this one, because it is the biggest. How many people play games on your cell phone? Okay. Nice to meet you too. We haven't met yet. Okay, so Own the Play is taking kind of this grand approach here. I'm sorry. We kind of see the opportunity to be kind of all of you. We see the ability to bring our products to every internet accessible device that there is. We see our ability to bring our products to slot machines at casinos and racinos. We see our ability to bring our slot machines to cruise lines all over the world in the United States. What we're offering is daily fantasy sports to all of these locations, as well as slot machines to all of these locations. I saw all the people here raise their hands immediately. It just got me excited. So let's talk about what makes us different, because we saw so many people here raise their hands. That means so many people right now are kind of playing on my direct competition. First of all, portfolio of games. What that means is we're going to have the largest peer-to-peer portfolio of games in the world. I'm drawing from my experiences traveling all over Europe, all over the world, and saying, hey, these are sports betting products that work. What can I do to bring them to fantasy in doing that? Superior game design. What that means for our products is taking a video and picture display with click, touch, and point navigation. Okay? What's also really cool for us is we're going to be the fastest way to bet on a mobile device that has ever existed. Location products, I touched on this briefly, but what that means for us is right now the only peer-to-peer game in the casino that's really ever existed is poker. We're going to change that. What we're going to do is we're going to bring fantasy sports to a live peer-to-peer format. Slot machine genres. And the reason why I say genres is because we don't believe this is one single game. We think sports, entertainment, and fashion is a genre that's going to have a portfolio of games. We're currently working on a bunch. I'm going to have 2 slot machine sports games, 1 entertainment, and 1 fashion for our first generation of products. And then finally, our payouts and structures. What this is directly to fantasy sports, it's an 18 to 15% rate going on in the world right now. We're going to guarantee that we'll be on the 8% side. And with slot machines, it is a hold. And what that means is you are guaranteed as the player to get a certain amount back. We're going to make sure that we're on the 10 to 15% side. What I've noticed in all of my travels is us as users, we all have the same problem. We're like, we can't sports bet anywhere in the world. As John had said earlier, the games that we're playing as far as slot machine goes, like Shrek 8 or Mission Impossible 6, like no one cares. So what OmaPlay is going to do is going to change the games, it's going to change the location, and redefine design for all of these products. Now, I did get a little nervous here, and this is not the pitch I intended, but I do hope that you enjoyed it and you learned something about our product. Thank you.
I'm a little confused.
Sure.
So I can't gamble anywhere right now in terms of the laws of the United States, right?
Correct. Actually, what happened was, and this is more than a 4-minute pitch, but in 2006, the UIGA was passed, made all forms of gambling illegal except for fantasy sports, and made a caveat specifically for that. So what we saw is a release of kind of 3 major competitors in 2009, built the industry to $500 million, and it's a legal product today.
So what gambling can I do sitting in my home, and how much money can I potentially make from this?
Fantasy sports, you could gamble anywhere from $1 to thousands on a daily basis, multiple times. What can you do from your house today? The only thing you can do from your house today is fantasy sports. There is not a single other legal gambling game in the United States. The previous presenter talked about offering products in Europe. He's using a company called Bettable to do so. There isn't a company like that in the United States. They make legal gambling. They make illegal gambling products legal. That's what Bettable is. But so to answer your question very quickly, the only thing you can do is fantasy sports. You can gamble anything you want.
I have a comment, not a question. I'm talking to the person in the corner, as I've been asked to do. When you talk about having a superior design in your games, bring superior design in your slide.
You're totally right, and I was going to make a joke about that. Like I said in my presentation, kind of stunk. But I was on the road, and I had to send it into Heather, who was nice enough to do this for me. It was sweet. She's unfortunately not here. But I agree, it sucks, and it's not our colors.
When do you expect to have a fantasy sports product offering?
We're ready to go now. We're a huge team. My CTO's products are in the Detroit casinos as we speak. I have 4 prototypes on my phone, which I'd love to take out and show anyone here. We have 8 fantasy sports products that are going to be our initial launch, with 4 slot machine products as well. I have my to-go market strategy, which I know some people here touched on earlier, which I'll gladly talk about at any point. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Next up is Omar Hashmi. Omar studied abroad in Indonesia during his last year of high school and learned Indonesian at that time. He's also a Bill Gates Millennium Scholar, which is pretty cool. He built Scam FM's first site with no prior programming experience when no one else wanted to do it for him. This is his 3rd business venture. So Omar, come on up and tell us about it, please. Thanks.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Omar Hashmi. I am the CEO and founder of Stamp.fm, and I attend the University of Michigan. No product today exists where, sorry, this light is really distracting. I don't have to be in the camp. A product does not exist right now that allows new and aspiring musicians to promote their music. There are products like, there are services like YouTube, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, but these are places where you go to upload your music, not necessarily places for other people to find and discover your music. The judges know this themselves, they're artists, and they're trying to promote their music. Brand new musicians, you spend 5 to 20 hours just creating music that you hope to promote to the public, but you're unable to do so because the technology does not exist. What StandFM does is it's an online music tournament, and you'd upload your music to the site, sorry, this is the wrong slide. You upload your music to the site, and there are pairs. So you only watch 2 videos, and you get to vote for which video you like the most. That way you don't have to watch thousands of videos on the site and choose your one favorite one. You just watch a pair, and then you click next to watch another pair, another pair, another pair. And that way the videos that have the most votes go up, the ones that have the most votes go down. Through this algorithm that we've created, we're able to crown the best country singer in Michigan, the best rapper in Michigan, or in the United States of America, and hopefully global someday as well. We had our first tournament, which was in Ann Arbor, and there were 16 artists, and that was the prototype that I originally created. Right now I have a team of about 13 people who have created the product and are on the business side. And for the first tournament, we had about 10,000 page views and about 10,000 visits in 7 days, 23,000 page views. Right now in the Michigan tournament, which is going on right now, we have over 100 artists who are participating in the tournament, over 300 profiles that are created. We have about 1,000 votes per day on these videos, and you can also vote for your friends. So some people are saying that the site might be a little bit biased because you're able to vote for your friends, but the majority of the site is just a random pair of videos, so you go on the site and just have fun voting. And the winner, the grand prize for these artists, are a concert. So we say, you're the best rapper in Michigan, we want to throw you a concert. If you're able to get 200 people to pledge to buy a ticket on our website, we will throw the concert for you. So it's similar to Kickstarter, but for concerts and only for the winners of our tournament. And that way we have a guarantee that the people are going to attend, so we can buy so we can rent the venue. In the future, we hope to create a streamlined management system where it's very scalable to different cities, states, and the United States, and maybe global one day as well. Thank you.
So I'm the musician, and I go on and load my song. Is it just my MPEG or whatever I created on my MacBook? I just load that, or is it video? What am I loading?
So you go on the site, you click the login on Facebook button. Directly takes you to a place where you upload your music. So you upload your music to the profile that we create for you using your Facebook information.
Yeah.
But then you choose one of those songs to enter into the tournament. And then that song is seen by hundreds of thousands of people. And each video is seen the exact same amount of times, so nobody has an advantage over anybody else.
As an artist, we spend a lot of time developing these songs and wanting to get them played in front of people. How can I be sure that it's going to be heard by hundreds of thousands of people because I'm participating in your tournament? What if it's just 100 people?
Yeah. So based on our data from the first tournament, we had at least 1,000 people, 1,000 votes on each song, and there were four songs a day, only 4 songs a day. Now we have hundreds of songs in the profiles and about 100 artists participating. So we can see from the data that there are people watching videos. The average time somebody spends on our site is about 56 minutes.
It sounds like there's a decision tree, like a tournament tree, and so you get off so you get all the contestants, you pair them off, and the winners get matched. Is that correct?
So we take all the contestants And we create random pairs of all of them at the very beginning. And then everyone is viewed like one time each, and then you vote for only one of them. So in the end, after the first process has gone around, half of them haven't seen voted on, like gotten one vote, and the other half haven't gotten any votes. You take the ones that have one vote and you shoot them to the top. And so then only the people who have one vote each are going against each other. And this constantly keeps going so that every pair you see, the artists are very similar. So the reason we created pairing, I told you this earlier actually, is because if I say, is this song, what do you think about this song? Do you like this song to any fan? They'll say, oh, maybe I like it, I'll give it a rating of 4 out of 5. What does that even mean? So we give them 2 songs and they have to compare, which one is the best out of those 2 songs. And then they can go to the next pair. It's a very addictive process.
But so the tournament process though really means there's a discrete event that I participate in. There's sort of a set of participants in each tournament, and then there's a separate discrete tournament that I could enter at another time. But there's specific competitions. Is that right?
Yes. So right now we have our Michigan competition, and the deadline is over for when you can submit your music, because we want to make sure everybody's viewed the same amount of times. I actually had the profile here, and I had everything, and I sent it, but unfortunately this was the old version, but it's fine. I think we did okay. Thank you.
I remind everybody, if you want to speak from not coming back to the podium, stand over here with the lights in your eyes so the audience at home can see you, please. Okay. Next up, Paul Casada. Paul's always liked to play baseball, softball, at a variety of levels. He's always liked keeping score. Think of Brad Pitt and Moneyball. Now, I know when I came in, I did not see Brad Pitt tonight, so I'll be really interested to see what Paul looks like. I didn't see Brad Pitt. Anyway, for over 30 years, he's designed stamping tools. And his new company aims to change that industry using the same type of analytics used in baseball. So, Brad Pitt, Paul Casada, please come on.
I have notes. Hi, panel. My name is Paul Quesada. I'm the founder of Beta 5 Industrial Tooling Performance. You are my ideal customer, OEM customers. And you have many years, decades probably, producing stamping tools for the metal stamping industry. Just like I have. And together we understand that industry, and we'll talk more about that later. You're probably men. You work at the corporate offices of the OEM. Salary, $200,000. You're probably 35, 40 years old, and you're very favorable to new technology. Now, my ideal sales channel is me. Right now, I'm also the director of customer development. So I'm out in the field, and I'm gathering data and setting the protocol for a future sales. There's also a lot of other people I need to talk to, like end users for my product, and also, in addition to you, there will be other people who are influencers on the final buying decision. But in any case, I'm looking to you to be the executive sponsor for Zeta 5. Now, Zeta 5 is essentially a consulting firm. But our advantage is we have an online performance database. And what we do is we help you with cost reduction and also reduction in timeline to vehicle launch. Now, what I have here is this graphic on the right is an OEM business intelligence map. Now, as you know, your companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars on business intelligence software. However, the vast majority of that money and personnel goes to the upper right corner of the map, where the people who are using it are closest to the customer and higher in the corporation org chart. Now, by the time you get to people who are far away from the customer at the OEM and lower in the hierarchy. Now I want to point out that's where we are, because we all work in metal standing. By the time you got down there really isn't much business intelligence software available. Now, that may sound like an exaggeration for an OEM, but I know this, that's where I'm from. I'm out there, as a matter of fact, those are my eyeballs in the lower left in the dark. And what do you suppose happens when you've got your decision makers out there who are trying to meet their performance targets, and they don't have a lot of business intelligence software? Well, what happens most often is they solve their own problems and then push those problems downstream to somebody else, and it ends up being a lot more expensive to solve those problems for someone else. Well, I'm really running out of time here, so this didn't go well, but I'll just keep going. What Zeta-5 Performance Database does is we put eyes in your entire value chain. Our personnel take responsibility for uploading performance data to our database online, and then we work with you to make sure that everybody understands the impact of their decisions on everyone else downstream. Online access is simple, free, and easy. There's no interaction with your existing systems. It's as safe as looking up a vendor number for an online catalog. We deliver proven metrics. We have our own metrics that we've developed, and we work with you to outline improvements to your performance.
I have troubles with performance being improved. I want to know how I'm going to save money. I'm being the tool guy, that's why I'm talking.
Well, what I was saying was that we work with your people. We bring our database information to their attention, but we work with your people to show them where in the past they've been pushing their problems up on someone else. That's probably the main thing. But then we also work with you to improve the process. We'll investigate. We're consultants. We'll work with you to investigate what you're doing and also improve. But our value proposition is that you'll make a minimum of 3 times the cost of our services in savings.
So, as a tool guy, it's unclear to me still what you're going to do for me. And it would be very helpful if you gave me a concrete example of what you did for somebody else and how much that saved them, or how much money you made for them.
Well, let's give an example of sometimes there's tooling standards that are for lighter weight because they feel it saves money on the building of the tool. Then you get down to where you're running the tool in production and the tools break down because they're lighter quality. Right now, there's nobody aggregating that particular plus and minus. We're going to do that for you and show you if you're losing money by building lightweight tools, if you're losing that money downstream, we'll show you that. And vice versa, if you're building robust tools and it's not saving you any money, we'll show you that too. And not only that, but it's almost like a supplier scorecard. We'll show you the differences between design houses, build sources, and like that.
So what I'm saying is if you've done that for somebody,
I have no customers yet. We're looking for a beta test.
Or if you've done it on the inside in your capacity as an insider.
That is what I do.
Show me what you did.
Here's my frustration. I actually saved an OEM at least $50,000 on a particular job. But at the same time, it was my suggestion to do something different. And they went ahead with my suggestion. And years later, I asked them, and I should point out that I wasn't sure that my suggestion wouldn't cause a problem somewhere else. So later on, I asked the same guys, what happened? The fact is, they just don't know. There is no answer right now. It's hard to believe, but as I show in my graphic, we're in the dark out there. So whether or not I saved them $50,000 was never really known. Or whether or not my suggestion developed a problem somewhere down the line and cost them $100,000. That's not known. So my goal here is to show them, to shed light on these kind of issues. I'm your issue finder and your fixer for those type of issues.
But you've never proven that you'll find it or save me money.
Proven it? Oh, well, what I was going to get to was, I want to offer a small trial. The money back guarantee will save you 3 times the cost of the service or money back. And I'm willing to do that even on a small initial trial, which is even a beta test. And even with the beta test, I'm willing to give that guarantee.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, our last contestant, Sean Backo. Sean likes to work out, bicycle, watch Detroit Lions on Sundays, and 10 videos during the week. One sort of makes up for the other. He launched his first social network with 100,000 users in 2009, was working on his second new venture, was at AHA, and switched to work on his third venture. So he's going to come up tonight and talk about his third and current company. Sean?
Hello everyone, my name is Sean Backo, and I'm the founder of a feature iPhone app called Peekaboo. And I have a couple questions to ask the audience today. So with a show of hands, who uses social media to express themselves online? Show of hands. Alright. With a show of hands, who is tired of all the spammers, autobots, advertisers, marketers, promoters, fakers, and all the other nonsense we have on social media today? Alright. Well, don't worry, you're not alone. Just look around you, see, look, everybody's having this problem. Luckily enough for you, I feel your pain. So much that I came out with my own iPhone app called Peekaboo. The easiest way to communicate with no strings attached. Yeah, that's right, I said it. It's very simple. Take a photo, video, or audio up to 15 seconds, choose to tag your friends, then post it. While smiling, you'll be able to view it. Once a user takes a peek, then poof, they will never be able to see it again. Each post gets deleted after 24 hours, whether the user is seen or not. So what I mean by this is there's a 24-hour clock connected to each post. Once that 24-hour clock hits 0, then that post completely wipes up our server and it wouldn't be able to be viewed by anybody else again. So build relationships, see what your friends are talking about in a visual and natural way. The age group is mostly under the age of 30 that people will be using this at. So Peekaboo right now is 90% complete. We're getting ready to beta test it. The only problem I'm having right now are bug issues. So once we get that settled, we beta test and then we launch from there. Hopefully that'll be really soon. So Peekaboo wants to make communication more human and natural. I want to get away from text communication and lean more into authentic and ephemeral communication. Social media hasn't only changed the way we communicate, it has modified our motives. So what I mean by this is, communication is not about how many likes or retweets you get. It's about expressing yourself, so why not do it in a human and natural way? So many people these days are all about how many likes or retweets they get. That's not real communication. That's more of a private contest, if you ask me. Real communication is not only about language or text. That's only half of it. We need expression, posture, body language, emotion. That gives us a true feel how that person actually feels. So for example, if I tweeted or Facebook, I really want a cupcake right now, you would notice that Sean Backo wants a cupcake right now. But if I was on Peekaboo and took a video of myself and said, I really want a cupcake right now, you can tell by my tone of voice, my expression, my body language, that I really do want a cupcake right now, and that may inspire you to go to the grocery store and deliver a cupcake to my house. Maybe? No? You might be thinking, oh, we're exactly like Snapchat. We're not. Snapchat is great. In fact, I was inspired by Snapchat. So how are we different from Snapchat? Snapchat believes in sharing moments to those who know you most in 10 seconds. Peekaboo believes in expressing yourself to the world in 15 seconds in a natural and visual way. There's a trend in ephemeral communication. Snapchat users now send 200 million photos and videos per day. That's about 5 times the amount of photos shared on Instagram, which processes about 40 million per day. It's now proven more people rather post ephemeral posts than any other network, or on Instagram or any other network for that matter. So what makes us unique? There is no social network that allows you to express yourself in an ephemeral and visual way. That's where we come in. So just remember this. Moments aren't meant to be saved. They are meant to be shared. Thank you.
I'm happy I'm out of your demo because I don't want another But I do have this question because I have a 20-year-old, so I know about Snapchat, and I was going to ask you that. But the thing that I hate about Snapchat is it says it disappears in 10 or 15 seconds, but you can really like secretly capture it and hide it away somewhere. And so are we protected in peek-a-poof from that happening?
No. Snapchat, you know what, Apple doesn't allow you, has no way around that. We can use screenshot. You can take a screenshot on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. So there's no other way around that. We just make on ours or Snapchat, it's just harder for other people to take a screenshot because we have to hold the screen and then take a screenshot at the same time. So it's a little bit harder. But we're not about privacy. Snapchat is about privacy. We're more about social. We want people to express themselves in a visual, natural way. So that's where I'm getting to.
One real simple one. Can I have all different kinds of groups? Can I have 10 different groups that I want to send different?
That's what's so great about Peek-a-Poof. That's one of the problems of solving on Snapchat. It's so annoying when you're on Snapchat. You have to pick each person you have to send it to. So with us, whoever's following you, say for example you have 100 followers, you send a video, a 10-second video, and whoever's following you will be able to see it. It will show up on their timeline, just the way like Instagram has a timeline and Twitter. So it will just show up on the top. And it also counts how many people peeked at it. So if 50 people peeked at it, it would say 50 peek. So we're not about like how many likes or retweets you get. We're just about express yourself. That's our focus. I want people to express themselves in a visual, natural way because that's the only way people are actually going to understand other people. You've got to put the human in technology.
So it's a 24-hour video Facebook?
No, it's more like Twitter and Snapchat combined. Twitter, you express yourself in 140 characters. Here, you express yourself in 15 seconds, but in a visual way. And the reason why I have a 24-hour class is for real-time communication. I don't want people to think about what they did yesterday, or I don't want people to think about the future. It's just the present tense. Just get your word out there at that moment, and whoever wants to view it, to see it, they'll see it, and if they miss out, then it's okay. There's so many other peaks you're going to send.
Okay, those are our competitors. I think we are finished. Okay, so I'll let the judges go ahead and out that direction. Make your decision. That ends the. So while the judges are making the decision, I think everyone has one of these pieces of paper. It lists what the winners are. You can sort of review that. On the back, it lists some of the upcoming events. There are some other best shot competitions coming up, Gaylord, Rochester, et cetera, both competitions and workshops. Our next D-NewTech meeting will be the first Monday of September. We're meeting in Northville at a new location there. And beginning of October, we're meeting downtown again at Grand Circus. They have a new facility. So we have 2 brand new facilities that we'll be trying out over the next 2 months.